Welcome to another episode of FemFlex Friday. I'm Whitney Jones here with my co-host Lenda Murray, and we have two amazing champions on for this segment. Not only are they world champions, but they are also new mothers. So we're going to focus on pregnancy, before, after, the fun, the craziness that is involved with that. So let me introduce you to our two rock stars. We have Candice Carter, who is a 3-time Arnold figure champion. And then we have 4-time Miss Olympia, Juliana Malacarne. How are you ladies?
Hi, girls.
Hello. Welcome to the show.
We are very grateful that you guys could spare some time, because being new moms, we know any spare time is very limited. So I don't know if babies are sleeping right now or you have someone babysitting, but we appreciate your time.
My pleasure. I'm happy to be here, and my baby, she's sleeping right now.
Yes.
Wow. So, wow, you're just, how's your body and how do you feel?
I feel very good. My body looks decent for 5.5 months postpartum. I personally don't like, because you guys gotta understand, but I'm back to my weight that I was before pregnancy, and I'm back to working out. So I'm doing well, and try to manage everything with motherhood, and try to go back in the gym. It's a little difficult, but I am doing okay. I am managing well, I believe.
Yes.
And what's your daughter's name?
My daughter's name is Allegra.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful.
Allegra.
And then Candice, you have a little boy. What's his name?
His name is Brew, B-R-U-E, like you're brewing coffee. So
Oh,
Yes.
cute. And he's now, you said 11 months. You're almost approaching that monumental 1-year birthday. Are you ready?
oh my gosh, I have all these shipments coming in from Amazon to get his birthday ready. And I'm like, oh my God, I hope he likes it. Like, oh my God, what is he gonna think? But, I think he's not gonna know what is going on. He'll just see pictures. But it's so like, oh my gosh, he's 1. So I'm definitely gonna cry.
The first year birthday it seems like more for the parents and the families, because granted, they don't. I will give you one bit of advice. Make sure the cake has lots of frosting, because they're just gonna put their faces in it. And those are some epic photos. So that's one of the biggest things that I loved about that first birthday. You get the cute photos, but then you gotta have the fun where they're diving in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my son, he's actually allergic to cow's milk and eggs. So right now I'm like searching to find like a vegan cake. So that way I can have those pictures.
Yes.
I just got him retested yesterday. I originally thought he had grown out of it because his skin dramatically improved. He has eczema. So I was like so sad yesterday. I'm like, oh, he won't get the same, experience as other kids on their first birthday, but I'm going to make it happen. There's some vegan places here. So I'm like in contact with one of the owners of a bakery. So we're definitely going to make sure he gets that cake and smash it in his face. And
Oh, good. How amazing.
Well, that's interesting. So he's allergic to, you said cow's milk and?
Cow's milk and eggs, and also like peanuts, pecans, and cashews.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, I don't know anyone that's allergic to any of these, but apparently my dad was until he was 6. So it's all of his fault. I'm like, it's your fault.
Yeah. What I think my first thought is like, because this is both of you, this is your first, right? For each, right? Your first baby, correct?
It's my first.
And prior to this, the concern was always like with our bodies, like, okay, like, not being like, I can't eat this because it'll make me bloat, or,
It's a whole different mindset.
All about us, right? All about you. So that's really interesting, because now you guys have another human being, that you're learning all these things about them. They can't talk right now, but then it's a lot. You guys had to figure out and make adjustments in this short period of time, 11 months and 5 months. So, Juliana, how was your, it's only been 5 months. Have you experienced anything as far as, what's your first thoughts when it comes to?
God, it's a completely life-changing experience becoming a mother. My whole life, as you said, was all about me. It's me, my time, my priorities, everything about me. Exactly. I'm not going to eat this because I'm going to get bloated, or I'm going to wake up at 5 in the morning to do my cardio. This is all out of the window. I am not a priority anymore. Priority is my daughter, and I'm the last now. It's my daughter, my husband, my fiance, soon to be husband, and then me. So it's honestly, I did everything that I wanted to do for myself in terms of professional career. I moved to the States to pursue my bodybuilding career. I became Miss Olympia. So in that professional life, I did everything that I want to do. So now having the opportunity later in life to experience motherhood, for me, it's amazing. Of course, I care about me. I care about like looking good and this and that. But my priority right now is Allegra, and I wanna be the best mother I can be. So that's what I'm trying to do. But there's plenty of challenges, especially for me that I'm alone in the United States. I have no family here. So it's a little more difficult, but I believe I'm managing very well. According to my fiance, I am a great mom, so it's all good.
Well, just based on what you said, it sounds like you're a great mom. I mean, it is hard. You have to sacrifice, and you're no longer the priority, but it's such an amazing gift. I mean, being a parent is one of the greatest gifts that you can ever experience, and you're now responsible for growing and shaping this little human to be the best that they can be and encourage them to reach for the dreams, and all the stages are so fun. So it makes it a little easier to kind of put those personal sacrifices to the side. Not that you completely do away with it, but in those first few months, you have to. I mean, that's the truth of it.
And I'm fine with it. I'm totally fine enjoying it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So is there something that happened immediately after having your baby that you didn't expect? Like a feeling, something that you just like, wow, like what I was thinking prior to no longer matters. Anything.
Yeah, I actually was, because I was very aware of, I told you about this, Lenda, a little bit, very aware of postpartum depression, because my doctor talked with it to me about it. You know, I was open with my sisters, my mom, like, hey, if you see me, you know, check on me because I'm not going to be okay. You know, just check on me, you know, because I heard a lot. Sometimes you don't know you're going through certain things until it just crumbles. And just like Juliana, like I'm here in Texas without family, and it's been really difficult for me and my husband at the time of giving birth. He was thankfully off for like 12 weeks. But once he had to go back to work, it was like, oh, now I have a child by myself, because he had to go back traveling. So he was traveling for 3 months. And that was like the point where the postpartum hit me. I couldn't deal with anything. I thought I was okay. Like I felt fine. I felt amazing after pregnancy and during my pregnancy. But once he left and traveled, although I did have family come in town, there was weeks or a couple days by myself. And it's a lot to deal with the child. At that moment, I think he was about your child's age, about 4 to 5 months. And he was now awake more, you know, wanting to crawl. And I was breastfeeding as well. So there was a lot of hormones coming through, and I couldn't manage. Like I have a video on Instagram where I like broke down in tears because I was demanded to kind of get back to work. I do some influencing, And so my agent was like sending me this stuff, like, you ready to work? I'm like, yeah, I feel good. But I didn't, like, I wasn't. It just hit me, and it was hard for me to say no. And I told you, Lenda, like, I just can't right now. I was kind of in the thick of those feelings of not being yourself in your head. It was so strange because once I start to feel like myself, I'm like, oh, here I am. Like, I feel like myself, but for a while, I was like, who am I? Like, although I had very aware of my body and I love being pregnant, it was more of my mental state versus like, you know, your body's different, your body's a little softer and that sort of thing. And I accept that, but it was more of the mental for me is like, I have these thoughts like, this is crazy, you know, like, you know, calling my parents, like my sister's like, call me tomorrow, like I need to talk. So it was very challenging for me.
Well, and you know, I do have to say, because there's this stigma about postpartum depression and people don't want to discuss it, don't want to admit it. And you were very vulnerable. And I think there's so many women out there who can relate and go, oh my gosh, okay, so I'm not alone. But people won't talk about it. And so even just sharing it on this show, I think will help people realize it's something you can't control. It hits some people have no concept of it. Some people never experience it. But when it happens, you know, it literally can hit you one day and you're watching a show and you just start crying and you're like, what am I crying about? Like, you don't know, but it's very important to reach out to family, friends, doctors, because you can get through it. But people who try to not acknowledge it, I feel like, are the ones who really struggle. And I think you're probably going to be a great resource for people for years to come to say, hey, what did you experience? Is this kind of, I think I may be going through the thick of it as well. How did you get out of it? And I think it's great that you're talking about it because people they shy away from it. And it's nothing to be ashamed of. You can't control it. But if there's a way to kind of have a sounding board to say, you're going to be okay. This is normal. It's nothing you did. It's nothing the baby or the family did. It's just something that needs to be discussed. So I applaud you for even sharing that.
Yeah, thank you. And I think it's exactly what you said. It's so simple as people sharing and knowing like, oh, I'm experiencing this and it's okay. And I think that's what ultimately helped me to know that it could happen and it was okay to talk about it. So it really helped to actually get out of it. And then just one day I'm like, oh, I feel like myself. It's just so bizarre. It is so bizarre. I'm like, I'm myself again. It's really crazy.
Wow.
I didn't have depression, but I'm still not myself yet.
Okay.
I'm super emotional. I cry for anything, like little simple things, a thought in my head still makes me cry. I didn't felt depressed or anything like that, but definitely a shift in my emotional state. Definitely. I don't know if it's going to stay like this forever, if it's going to go back to normal, but I'm definitely a lot more emotional and I cry a lot more, what I think is hormonal, right? That's what I don't know.
It's actually a part of it. So depression, postpartum depression is not always like suicidal thoughts or
right,
like
being sad, right.
But it is the crying. Mine was
yeah.
I'm still crying. Yeah. And are you breastfeeding still?
No, that was a huge disappointment for me because I did not have one drop of milk. I tried for about, I think, 10 days after I gave birth, but nothing ever came. No,
Yeah.
So I never breastfed. She went straight to formula and she's still on formula. She's fine, she's healthy, but that was it's disappointing to us. Like you expect that. So I have like pumps, 2 different pumps. I'm expecting to do this and that. And then it didn't happen. I'm like, I was upset with that, but whatever, you know, I didn't make a big deal of it. I don't make a big deal of anything. I just try to take the best that I can, the situation. So I'm fine. But it was upsetting at first. Yes, definitely. Sure. I couldn't breastfeed.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But
Motherhood definitely throws lots of things at you. You're going to be experiencing more and more, but we're going to take a quick break because we've got a lot of stuff we want to dive into with both of you hot mamas.
People always ask how I got here. I was willing to work just a little harder than everyone else. Every damn day. If I can have hundreds of hours back, you know I'm gonna grab them. Spending hours prepping chicken, rice, and vegetables, F that. I rely on perfect nutrition. I rely on trifecta.
And we are back with two rock star moms. We have Candice Carter and Juliana Malacarne, who are new moms. Both of their babies are less than 1 year old, so they are experiencing all the craziness that motherhood has to offer. But let's go back a little bit regarding your pregnancy. So, Juliana, did you experience any complications? Was everything smooth sailing? Were you one of those moms that loved the whole pregnancy stage? Give us your insight.
I had a very easy pregnancy. I have no problems. I worked out until the day before I went to the hospital. I was in the gym. But I'm going to tell this. I hated to be pregnant. Everybody said, oh my God, I love being pregnant. Besides the fact, the wonderful thing that I was growing a life inside of me. Besides that beauty, I hated everything. I don't like, I was like nauseous from beginning to end.
Wow.
I didn't like any foods. My pregnancy was easy. It wasn't no complications. I don't have any high blood pressure. I have no health problems at all. But I don't like the fact of having a belly, being tired, have to sleep in the afternoons. Like these things that women say, oh my God, I love being pregnant. I think women like that, many women, because maybe you get more attention when you are pregnant. That I think maybe women say they like that. I think like us, all of us, we got so much attention in our careers and things like that. So being pregnant, I don't need that sort of thing. So for me, besides the fact that I was, as I said, having a baby and creating a life, I didn't like being pregnant at all. That's what I can tell about it.
Well said, Juliana.
Yes. Hey, we asked for honesty, so
I love it.
I
love it. And what about you, Candy? Did you
I'm
love
actually
being
opposite.
pregnant?
I love it, and I want a belly right now.
You want a belly right now?
And kind of like what you said, I didn't realize, but I love the attention. Like even before people knew I was pregnant, that you could see a belly, I would be like, taking it down, trying to make it seem like my stomach was big. And then when people were like, oh, you're so tiny, I would get so upset. Like, no, I'm big, like, you see this big stomach? So I was very proud of my stomach. I had a really easy pregnancy as far as, high blood pressure. I did have in the beginning a little scare with being high risk because it was difficult for me to get pregnant. We did 5 rounds of fertility treatments, and by God's grace, it was my birthday weekend, and my husband knew I was kind of sad and in a dark place. He flew my best friend from Phoenix out, and I forgot to take my medicine, my fertility medicine. I'm getting a little choked up because it's just such a blessing that I forgot. And if you take it late, it could be very harmful if you become pregnant. And so I was just upset because it was like one more opportunity to become a mom, and I ruined it because I forgot. I was so mad at myself. And we were decided the next month we were going to go IVF. This is how I'm able to get pregnant. We're going to try it. And I became pregnant naturally. And it's just like such a miracle because it was a very dark place for me trying to get pregnant. And I just don't think people understand like how difficult it is. And you really have to have a team around you to support. And I don't wish, that on anyone because it's a very dark place. So I love being pregnant. So I was really excited. I was able to conceive.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that.
And it probably, because of the journey to get pregnant, that probably had a lot to do with your mindset of just embracing it and enjoying every single moment.
Yeah, so I was, in the beginning, I was scared to work out. I was like, I'm not going to work out. I'm just going to sit my ass down and not move. I'm not, I was so scared, and I had a scare of having, it's called placenta previa, where your placenta is over your cervix, and the baby, it's this whole big thing. And so I had to be on kind of a bed rest for a couple of months until I was past that 20-week mark. And then once that happened, I was still scared. So I just kind of stuck to like walking. And at first, like coming from a bodybuilding background, you want to kind of a little bit prove a point, like I'm fit and I'm pregnant, I'm still working out, like it's not phasing me. But I took an opposite approach. I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to sit, watch Netflix, and just eat my cookies and not have stress to work out, and I really wanted to show that once in, our lives, being in the bodybuilding industry for, over 12 years, that you can rest if that's what you choose. And that's what I chose, to rest and to just, relax for once.
Yeah. I saw, Candice, where you on the Olympia stage 7 times. 7? Yeah, so you definitely deserve rest.
Yeah.
Yes, you did. And you were like second, top 5 always. So yes, you deserve rest. 3 times Arnold champion. So that's
4 times.
4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. 4. Yes, you deserve rest. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that.
Now, did you guys feel pressure, being that you guys have been world champions and people have followed your journey? You're huge on social media. So great, you have the baby. Did you feel this pressure because of your athletic background that you needed to bounce back and prove to everyone, like, I've got my physique back in check fast?
Not through others. I feel like that for myself. I don't need to be fast like that, but I do want to have my body back, not stage ready body, of course not. But I do feel like for me to be happy with myself now after achieve the baby, I like to get my body back at one point. Not so soon, but maybe in a year after the baby, I like to be like happy. I feel it's good for me. What I feel is good for me. For me. I do more things for me. I don't do much things for others. That's not like, I don't have nothing to prove. That's what I say. I don't do things for others. I don't want to, but I want to do for myself.
Yeah. And Candice, you said your agent was kind of throwing you back into the swing of things pretty quickly. Did you feel more pressure because of that?
I did, and I feel like people still, and maybe because sometimes I lead on that I'm coming back, and so as soon as I had the baby, we're like, when are you coming back to the stage? We're going to see you back on the stage, so I did have that, pressure of people saying things, and I've always like teetered, can I do it? For me, I needed like a challenge, and it would be very challenging. I would love, to do that. And I go back like, no, I'm done with that. It's time to, just live this life with my child and my husband. So I did feel that pressure, but my agency was good. She her name is Annette, and she will go to bat, because she dealt with postpartum as well. We cried on the phone together before, and I was just like, I just can't. And she was like, okay, I'll stop everything. You let me know when you're ready, and I had some companies giving me a hard time. She's like, no, like she is bossy. So
good.
She was great in handling it and kind of taking charge for that.
So did you exercise, Candy, through your pregnancy? I know you said you had bed rest for like 2 months. Did you totally take off for 9 months?
Well, I would say yes, because it was definitely different from what I've ever done. Even after I stopped competing, I still was actively in the gym or working out outside. That's something I kind of really started to enjoy once I was done with the stage. So yeah, I was out of the gym for the good part of it, where it was during quarantine when I got pregnant. So a lot of the gyms were closed. We're thankful able to still go to our local gym. But I just kept with walking and things like that, and just trying to make sure I not contracting like diabetes and that sort of thing, high blood pressure. So I focused more on my eating, even though I gained 50 pounds. I think I focused on my eating, but not with 50 pounds, in 9 months. So yeah, I kind of took my time off.
That's great. And what about you, Juliana? Did you exercise throughout your pregnancy? You said right up until the day before.
Wow.
To the day before, I went to the hospital on Monday, and I went to the gym on Sunday. That's the last day I trained legs. Then the next day I went to the hospital, but it took me 2 days. I have very difficult and traumatic birth. It was like 48 hours in labor, really hard, tough. Yeah, very traumatic. I don't think I'm gonna have another baby, but if I have another baby, I don't think I'll do that again. I go for a C-section because it was really traumatic. Yeah.
Well, and it's like as a mom, you have that birth plan, and whatever it is, there's a variety of birth plans that you can have in your head. And it seems like no matter what, it's never going to go according to the way you want. If it does, great, but it's a very scary time. You have the health of yourself you have to worry about. You've been basically building this amazing human in your body. You want them to be perfect. And that has to be a scary time. I mean, 48 hours, that's pretty, that's pretty intense.
49 hours in labor, and they didn't want to do a C-section on me. After 28 hours, they say, no, the baby head's right there. And it took me another day with that baby head. So it was like really, really traumatic. And they have, I don't know how I'm going to explain this they have a scale that is 1 to 5 when the baby's born. If the baby's born perfect, this and that, is 5, then 4, then 2. My baby was born 1.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because she was in so much stress for 2 days that she almost died.
Wow.
It was really really traumatic for me. But after the birth, I was fine. I delivered her naturally, and the same day I was showering. 3 days after, I was driving around. So once that passed, I was fine. But it was really tough. It was really
Such a scary time. Such a scary time. We're going to take another quick break, and then Candice, we got to hear about your experience on the big day with your little boy. But we'll be right back after this. And we're back talking about pregnancy, the good, the bad, the craziness. And we just heard from Juliana's birthday story. And it sounds a little intense. I'm glad everything worked out.
48 hours.
48 hours. Now, Candice, please tell us yours wasn't as extreme.
No, I was 12 hours. And I thought that was crazy because I had friends. Like my mom gave birth to 10 of us like within an hour. And I was like, oh, it's going to be the same. I'm all fit. And like, it should be easy because we were like, you're fit. It's going to be easy. Mine was 12 hours and I was pushing for 2 hours and his head was stuck. And so they had to take him out with a vacuum. And that was like, crazy in itself. But the doctor was she was so amazing. She was a female doctor and she just got him. I saw him, got the head. It was just like amazing. I was like, wow, he's out. He's okay. So it was about 12 hours of, labor and pressing. We thought we were going to have to do a C-section, but they were able to flip him in the middle of the night. So no sleeping. It was just a whirlwind. It was unbelievable, but I had a great experience through labor. The nurses and doctors were so thoughtful. They took care of us. No one was able to come in the hospital room or visit because we're in quarantine. I ended up hiring a doula because I was so nervous to give birth and, especially, being an African woman, you hear all these tragic stories that happen during labor and not being heard. And I was so fearful, of that day, but I was well taken care of. My doula was on the phone with the nurses and it was a very good experience. And I do hope to be able to do it again.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. So you guys, you were in the midst of COVID during this. Did you experience any interesting, that was just a challenge in itself. How was that, going through that? Because you were in the midst of COVID during both of your pregnancies. Juliana?
Mine was okay. I'm New York, so it was like 5.5 months ago. Wasn't too bad. My fiance was allowed to stay with me all the time. And I was able to get visitors after. So for me, it was pretty normal besides the mask that I had to wear, but not much of restrictions, let's say.
Wait, you had to wear a mask during labor?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, wow. You guys are way more patient than I think I would be.
I don't care. I didn't care, but yeah, they kind of made, they would come to the room and say, pull your mask. So at the end, I just took my mask and I didn't care. But yeah, they did. They made me wear masks.
Wow.
Anyone who's not had a baby, you see it in the movies. And it truly is kind of like that. Especially usually on it with 48 hours, I would have been like, no one's telling me what to do. I'm going to do what I want.
Oh, God, wow. Don't tell me. I'm traumatized.
Oh, wow.
Funny.
And Candice, any other craziness with being in the midst of COVID for you? Because you were obviously, it was 2020 when you were pregnant.
Besides, not being afraid to see people.
Yeah.
In the beginning, it was like, we didn't know what was going on. It was the summer of when it first happened. And so now going to the grocery store, I think everyone's like, a threat to your life and your child's life.
Yes.
That was a crazy part, and trying to be social and trying to, see people. I know I need human interaction. So it was kind of lonely a little bit. I didn't end up having a baby shower, and I was so sad because we're like, oh no, you get COVID. It was so crazy,
Yeah.
So but I'm so glad we were safe. I've never gotten COVID, and I think that was the only traumatic part. But during COVID, I had the opportunity to talk to Congress. I'm a part of a group called PCOS Challenge, and we advocate for women with health issues and PCOS, which is something that I was diagnosed with about 7 years ago. So I had the opportunity to talk with Congress, and during that time, there was some crazy stuff going on at the Capitol. So we didn't directly talk with our government here, but we were able to speak with their constituents. And so that was very refreshing during COVID because I was surrounded by all these women that had health issues. So it was nice to kind of be surrounded in that environment and to, cheer each other on, and knew that I was working for like a greater cause for women's health.
That's amazing.
It's awesome.
Very good. So you guys, do you have any suggestions to women out there in regards to their body and their relationship with their body and pregnancy, and just any tips on exercise, do it or don't, or your nutrition, or just relax and enjoy it? Any advice?
I think each person has to choose what's best for them. Like, I exercise, I did, like Candice did not, she took a break. So I think that's very personal for each one. And honestly, the most important thing, I think, in pregnancy, you have to feel happy and be calm, don't stress, try to give all that good energy and vibes for the child that you were growing inside you. So I had a very peaceful and easy pregnancy, and I was very focused on not stress, not be like stressed with every little thing. So I think that's the most important thing. People need to try to focus on themselves, be calm, and don't stress with little things, because at the end of the day, it's not worth it. It's not going to change anything, and you just stress yourself out, and it can be harm for your child.
Great advice.
I agree with that too. Yeah, you have to be calm, and like you said, stress-free, because I feel like, I know that this is a thing, but you can maybe transfer those emotions to the baby, being stressed or, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just say, listen to your body. If you want to work out, work out. If you don't, but try to definitely be healthy in a way that is more important, maybe not for yourself and what you feel, but for the baby. And I feel like if you just put your child first above your feelings, it'll make you get up and work out, because that's what you need to do, or make you eat, stick to a healthier diet, because it's better for your child.
Yes.
Agree.
Well, ladies, we want to thank you so much for coming and sharing your story with the FemFlex Friday audience. And we're so proud of you guys, your children, your girl and your
Beautiful
boy
moms.
Beautiful. You guys, you're vibrating and you're just amazing. So thank you again, Juliana, and thank you, Candy, and your babies, Allegra and Brew.
Yes.
All right, thank you guys, and enjoy.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure to be in this show one more time and talk about motherhood, something very something that I'm loving. So thank you both for the opportunity. Candice, I love you. I'm a big fan. Very nice to share these.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
And that's it
Thank
for
you.
us here on Whitney Jones and Lenda Murray on another edition of FemFlex Friday.